What is up, all my fight squirrels? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the biggest contenders and pretenders in each weight division. Let's get right to it. Now, starting off with the flyweight division, in my opinion, the biggest contender in the flyweight division is going to have to go to Muhammad Mokaev. Though he is quite a boring fighter, he's undefeated, and he's moving up the ranks of the flyweight division at a very fast speed. Heck, if he beats Manel Kape on Saturday night, he will indefinitely get a title shot.
I would go with Steve Astro Boy Ursag. He's the true champ of the flyweight division, and everybody knows it. He showed his levels against Alexandre Pantoja by just squeaking by with a loss on the scoreboards. But I think after he beats Kai Kara France at UFC 305 in Perth, Australia, he'll get a deserved second title shot.
Great point, Grayson. And going off of that, I believe that the largest pretender in the flyweight division is Alexandre Pantoja. You know you lost to Steve Ursag. He's the true champ, and we all know it.
I'm gonna go with a little bit of a different kind of choice. I'm picking Amir Albazi. You know you lost to Kai Kara France. That was an absolute robbery. Amir Albazi, he's just not him. He does not have that dog in him.
Now, moving on to the bantamweight division, my top contender is going to have to be Peyton Talbot. Though he hasn't had that many fights in the UFC, he has shown that very soon he's going to be at the top of the bantamweight division.
For my top contender, I'm going to throw up the name of Corey Sandhagen. While Sean O'Malley, the current champion, is a insane striker, just off the charts levels of striking power and speed. Corey Sandhagen has also shown that he's quite good at striking. So when they finally match up after Merab gets crushed to dirt, it's going to be an absolutely insane fight.
Now, going off of that, I would say that my biggest pretender is going to have to be Umar Nurmagomedov. Now, as you all know, he is fighting Corey Sandhagen, but if you look, Umar is only the number 10 ranked, while Corey is number 2. And also, Umar has not even beaten a ranked opponent, and now he's getting a number 1 contenders fight. This is Dana White privilege at its finest, folks.
I agree with a lot of your points there. Umar does have that Dagestani privilege, where they put those Dagestanis in number 1 contender fights before they're ready. I think the biggest pretender in the bantamweight division has got to be Marlon Chito Vera. He's just not that good. He can take a lot of damage, and he can deliver some damage, but he's just lost to every one of the top guys.
Good points, Grayson. Good points. Now, moving on to the featherweight division, my top contender is going to have to be Max Holloway. Max Holloway just showed at UFC 300 that he is a force to be reckoned with. He absolutely mollywopped the floor. He was swinging that hammer. He just absolutely just bamboozled Justin Gaethje. It was hard to watch, and that knockout, probably one of the best knockouts in the history of MMA. Now, I know that Max Holloway is fighting Ilia Topuria very soon, but still, he is the top contender, and I believe that he will beat Ilia Topuria when they fight.
My biggest contender has got to be Mazar Evloev. While he is probably the most boring fighter in the UFC, because nobody knows who he is, and he doesn't finish fights, he is very skilled in wrestling, and he's on the up and up after just beating Arnold Allen. But I'd rather not see him become champion because this fight's put me to sleep.
Now, moving on to the largest pretenders in the featherweight division, I'm going to have to go with Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega is not a good striker. We all know that. He may have some good grappling abilities, but nowadays, that's just not going to get by in the UFC. And him pulling out of his fight against Diego Lopez was just no good to see.
I think the biggest pretender of the featherweight division has got to be Yair Rodriguez. I mean, he's good and all, but he's been taking some L's lately. Brian Ortega, Alexander Volkanovski. He's good, but he just can't beat the best of the best.
Now, in the lightweight division, I'd have to say that the biggest contender is going to have to be Arman Tsarukyan. I know he's number one, okay? But still, he just absolutely cooked Charles Oliveira in his last fight. And he arguably beat the current champion, Islam Makhachev. That's going to have to be mine. Grayson?
Well, I think the lightweight division is very stacked. I would believe that there is no best contender because nobody's going to beat Islam.
Now, in my opinion, the biggest pretender is going to have to be Benoit Saint Denis. I know Lucas Tracy. I know you love glazing on this guy, but like, come on. He just got beat by an old man, Dustin Poirier. And his best win is against frickin' what's his name? I don't even remember his name. What's his face? Matt Frivola? Who even is that? Nobody knows. Exactly. That's why Benoit Saint Denis, most definitely the biggest pretender in the lightweight division. Moving on to the welterweight division. I would have to say the biggest contender in the welterweight division right now is going to have to be Jack Della Maddalena. Jack just absolutely mopped the floor with his last opponent, Gilbert Burns, knocking him out. It was pretty epic. And I'd say if he gets one more win, he's going to be in title contention.
Well, I believe there's a lot of good contenders in the welterweight division. I would also say there's a lot of people who are just real fakers. So, I would throw up, again, the name of Jack Della Maddalena. He's got the striking. He's got the wrestling. He's got the personality. I could see him being champion in the future.
Hey, don't forget about his nose. That's a top tier nose right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, I would say there are multiple pretenders in the welterweight division. Colby Covington, Kevin Holland, just to name a couple. But I would say the largest pretender is going to have to go to Shavkat Rakhmonov. Though he is undefeated, and he won his last fight against Stephen Thompson. But like, come on. We knew he was going to win that fight. Stephen Thompson is not a wrestler. He's a striker, guys. Come on. Come on, UFC. I see you. Anyway, Shavkat has shown absolutely zero striking, and I think he will be getting a rude awakening very soon by one of the top contenders. Most likely, Jack Della Maddalena.
I'm gonna have to throw up the name of Ian Machado Gary. Well, he has won a lot of fights. Well, currently undefeated, 15-0. I don't believe he's really shown anybody levels. And in his last fight against Michael Venom Page, I would count that as a loss. He went out there, he got beat up, and he held down Michael Venom Page for a little bit. I don't know.
Now, moving on to the middleweight division, I would say the largest contender right now is going to have to be Bo Nickel. Though people do like to hate on Bo Nickel, saying he's an NPC and such. Just stop the hate, guys. Come on. We all know Bo Nickel's a future champ, okay? He's 4-0 right now. He's absolutely surging. And I believe he will be getting a ranked opponent very soon.
The middleweight division is one filled with potential and current stars. I'm gonna have to throw up two names for this division. First, Sean Tarzan Strickland. We all know he beat Dricus du Plessis in the title fight, and he showed levels to Paulo Costa by walking him down. My other person is also going to be Bo Nickel. His grappling is unmatched. He's literally the American Khamzat Chimaev.
Now, moving on to the pretenders, I would say there are two big ones. I will talk about the first one, Paulo Costa. We all know about him. He's the pull-out king, okay? He loves to pull out of fights. And though he has fought twice very recently, he lost both of them. And he's definitely going on the decline.
Well, this is a division full of very good fighters. There is also some fighters who are just not it. And one of them being Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat, we all know the truth. You're a crypto scammer. You're an absolute fraud. You never want to fight. You fake illnesses. And I would also guess you eat babies.
True. All true. Now, moving on to the light heavyweight division. It's very hard to pick because there are like no good fighters except for like the top 5. So I'm actually just gonna pick Alex Pereira for the top contender. I know he's champion, but like, who else is there? I mean, I guess there's Magomed and Ankalaev, but like, he's probably gonna lose. Now, Grayson?
Well, I agree with you. Magomed Ankalaev is going to lose. I would say that the top contender of light heavyweight is really nobody, because he's basically cleared out the division.
You know, Alex Pereira's got that chama.
Bruh.
Now, moving on to the top pretenders, I would have to go with Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith, I know he's on the decline, but still, he's very delusional. He still thinks that he can beat John Jones, but like, come on. Anthony, get your head out of your ass. Come on. And I could see him retiring very soon.
I'm gonna have to go with an obvious choice, Jamal Hill. We know you got knocked out by Sigma Alex Pereira, but like, you don't have to kill yourself about it. Like, you gotta keep working your way back to the top.
Please stop crying about it and just lock in. Like, please. We don't want to hear you cry on the internet, Jamal. Moving on to the heavyweight division. Now, I know this is a very obvious pick, but Tom Aspinall is the #1 contender and is the best contender in the heavyweight division. He has steamrolled through all of his opponents. He hasn't even gone to the second round in the UFC. Isn't that insane?
Well, that is a crazy feat. I would say Tom Aspinall is the #1 contender in the division. He is the best heavyweight in the world.
Moving on to the top pretenders, I'm going to have to go with John Jones. I know he's the champ, but like, John, you haven't fought since March of 2023. I know you got hurt, but still, come on, man. And what's that? Oh yeah, I forgot you're fighting Old Man Stipe. That's not even a title defense. Come on, just fight Tom or Alex. It really doesn't even matter. Just actually fight someone good. Now, that's gonna be it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.